Hello and welcome to another episode of the FPL Hangover Podcast, where we raise the bar and lower the tone on all things FPL related. Welcome back. We're recording this on the 31st of October. That's right. Happy Halloween, folks. And here to tell us the scariest story of all, an absolute nightmare of an FPL game week, my podcast partner in crime, Paddy. How are you getting on, my friend?
Very, very good intro there, Ger. Fair play to you, getting the stabs in early.
Yeah, got it.
First of all, I'd like to say hello to the listeners and to the millions and millions watching at home. I hope you've had a better week than mine. As Ger alluded there, the only thing scarier on this Halloween than looking at Ger across from me is my FPL score this week, which we will get into. Do you want to go first this week, Ger? Or
yeah, sure. Before I get into it, I know you obviously just need a bit of time to acclimatise, Paddy. It's been a rough couple of days. But if you do hear any squeaking throughout the show, that is not technical difficulties. That's our own Paddy here. He's come dressed up in the spirit of Halloween. He's dressed up as Ali G, and he does have a very tight leather jacket on. So there we go. You can hear him squeaking along.
Walk shot. Is it squeaky?
It's a little like rustly, but I mean, if you were to offer me some rustles, or you dress as Ali G, I think it's a fair trade.
Well, I'm glad to hear.
But yeah, so
I had to make an effort. It is Halloween, Ger.
I know, and I'm a little ashamed that I came so unprepared, but that's how we do it. I'm just changing the screen, Paddy, just because I had your score already lined up, but. Yeah, if you are watching on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe button. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so game week 10. 68 points.
Oh, lovely. Happy for you.
Thank you, Paddy. Green arrow. The tiniest of green arrows. I think technically it's probably a green, but it is as close to a grey as you're going to get. I think I went up 17,000 places from 2.1 million to 2.7 million or something like that. So, or not 2.1, but you know what I mean. So fuck all of a rise, but it looks green, and I'll take a couple of green arrows on the trot. 68 points, Captain Salah. He's the bulk of it, but Cash returning, Simicast returning, Ward-Prowse, Blanken, Saka 6, Son 16, Gordon, Haaland obviously with his devastating returns at Old Trafford, and then a nice healthy Watkins blank to round it all off. So yeah, all in all, I'll take it just above the average of 66 this week, but nothing to write home about.
Oh, delighted for you, Ger. That's a beautiful score. What did Gordon get again?
2. He got 2.
Ah, okay. Just
what did Almiron get?
I sold him.
Oh, I wonder for who?
Martinelli.
Oh, what did Martinelli get?
3 points.
Oh, compared to Saka, you got 50% less than Saka. Oof. So that happens when you cheap out, Paddy. So that happens when you cheap out.
I know.
But go on, for the audio listeners, tell us how your game week 10 went.
Right, here we go. And do you know what, though? I'm not going to be too downbeat because I think that I can turn this mess around. I got 49 points. Okay, the average was 66. I know there's another average that the big players look at, but the average was 66. And it just went from bad to worse. First of all, I had Luis Diaz, and then the news broke that his parents had been kidnapped. So
crazy shit.
Yeah, crazy shit. So I wasn't going to get any Luis Diaz points. I knew that straight away, which was upsetting. But I mean, not as upsetting as Luis Diaz probably is.
Oh yeah, you'd rather be in your position than his. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd rather have his parents.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, then Areola nets 3 points. Fuck me, it just got worse. Then Adogi, I started Adogi over Burn. So Adogi come off, Burn come on, 0 points. Trippier got 0 points. So I got fuck off my Newcastle defense. Cash got me 5 points, which was nice.
A lucky 5. Did you see that he just got subbed off before?
The clean sheet got busted. Delighted.
Bit of jam.
Then the midfield, Madison 6 and Son 10, and Madison only 3 as we discussed. Haaland 16 points. Watkins 4 points because I captained him. And then I had Højlund against City, which was 2 points. Now my transfer was Almiron out, and I brought in Martinelli, as I discussed in last week's pod, because I wanted to have some of that Arsenal, cover going into these game weeks, and it just wasn't enough, Ger. But I mean, I love another wild card. I would love another fucking wild card.
That team is a fucking mess. I won't lie. Imagine if
you
you hadn't got rid of Nunes.
I know, like, what the fuck? Just because I heard he wasn't starting.
No, you turned your back on him.
But look, just going into the next game week, I mean, I've got a transfer. I'll wait to see if what Udogie is. I might even keep him. But I've got Trippier, Byrne, who are playing Arsenal. Jesus Christ. I've got Cash, Nottingham Forest. Got Maddison against Chelsea, Son against Chelsea, Luis Diaz against Luton. That's if he's back. Martinelli versus Newcastle, Højlund versus Fulham, Haaland versus Bournemouth, and Watkins versus Forest. So, I think I'm not too bad looking going into the next game week.
No, I mean, like, nothing that's going to be fixed in one game week. That's the way I'd look at it. It's a nasty one, game week 11. I mean, it's not as nasty as game week 13 is going to be. But, there's, like, Arsenal playing Newcastle. That's going to be putting a lot of people, their talents up against one another. Spurs against Chelsea. I know there's not a lot of people who have Chelsea assets anymore, but, it's still not the greatest fixture that you'd want for your Spurs guys, But, I mean, you're sitting there with Maddison and Son. I assume you're happy home to Chelsea next week?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was kind of footering about, and a footering had me removing Luis Diaz and Son, and bringing in a Salah, and then I would have to bring in like a 4.6 midfielder. Like, I just was having a little peek to see if I could get to Salah, because that Luton game could be hot stuff, or I could just change Luis Diaz to Jota or Gakpo. But I mean, that's all going to be team news dependent,
Yeah, and there's also a Carabao Cup this week, so
yeah. And I'd rather not take a -4 if I could.
Yeah, it could be just one of those weeks, Paddy, where you might need to kind of grin and bear it, and get out the other side of it with maybe being able to roll a transfer. I don't know. As I said to you, it's not something I think you could fix in the game week without taking a lot of hits. And then fix, it's a pretty vague term.
The ideal news I would get would be that Luis Diaz's parents get like rescued or whatever and safe.
I think his mom is back.
Right. Okay. So that's
go.
good news. So even if they are both back, it still doesn't guarantee him playing this week, because he might be like just having some family time and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's traumatized and all. So it looks either way that I will be getting rid of Luis Diaz.
I think I've heard that the FPL community have banded together and they'll be sending some groups over to Colombia in an effort to resolve that situation. So keep your ears to the ground with that.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, the usual candidates probably heading over.
Oh yeah, the usual ruffians. How was the Manchester Derby? Did you watch it?
I watched the first half and a bit, and then I had seen enough. I threw the remote to the Wolves who were waiting on the telly.
So I suppose Højlund, then, what do you think of him now that he's sitting in your team?
I mean, it's not him that's the problem. Like, it's the two wingers who can't seem to pass the ball or cross a ball into him. We've got Rashford, who, like, when he's supposed to shoot, he passes, and when he's supposed to pass, he shoots. He's got no confidence. You've got then the other prick, Anthony, who I think should be fined and suspended for acting like a spoilt, petulant little.
Just a haircut alone, I think
that's
enough.
Yeah, you're right.
Just a fine.
They should shave his head, and so I mean, I'm just going to stick with Højlund. He's not a fire at the moment, I believe, in my team. I've got like Pellistri here, I've got Udogie, and I've got Lamptey.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, but I think when you talk about being able to fix the team, like you talked about getting rid of dropping down Diaz to like basically a non-playing midfielder in an effort then to maybe move Son up to Salah. Whereas realistically, if you look at the team, that kind of screws you a little bit in terms of your bench is already fucked. Lamptey, Palestri, that's 2 non-playing players. And then you bring in a third non-playing player, like, I don't think that's really a viable option.
Well, you see, I thought Anthony was going down for rape.
Okay. That wasn't going to improve the United fucking team.
Huh?
That wasn't going to improve the United team, though.
No, I know, but I just thought it was like a little enabler. Palestri would be in there then. Like,
yes, I get you.
The time I done my wild card. So yeah. Anyway, I've got, and then Adogi's got a 75% chance of playing this week, but so I'm not. He's not really a fire yet.
Yeah, and he should come through. He should come.
I guess
back
just
into the
really.
team.
I might. You see, if it's the Luis Diaz as the keystone here, like,
yeah,
I would, if I got news he was playing, I would just roll the transfer.
Yeah, just roll it, see what happens next week. Yeah, what about the double Newcastle assets? You sticking or you twisting? Their fixture's taking a bit of a turn.
Yeah, it's hard because Botman's injury is worse than we feared, and is Schär out as well?
Not that I've heard, but
no. Botman and Isak are out, and Botman I think really does make that defense tick. So with him gone now, it's not good news for Schär owners, Burn owners, Trippier owners. I think that's what I was alluding to.
Well, to be fair, Trippier has been getting all those returns with Botman gone anyway. So, I think, but I do think he is a crucial part of that defense, and they do look a bit weaker without him. They didn't look particularly tight this weekend against Wolves. Now that was they were up against a Wolves side who were well up for it on Saturday evening. But if you look at Newcastle's fixtures, obviously home to Arsenal this week's not great. Then away to Bournemouth, you'd fancy that one. But then home to Chelsea, home to Man United, away to Everton, then away to Spurs. So Spurs, United, Chelsea, and Arsenal all in the next 6 for Newcastle. So if people are sitting there with the likes of a Trippier and they do need to make some surgery, there is funds to be taken there. I think that's the handy thing about having someone like that in your team is that you are kind of storing up funds. You know what I mean? Like that's one transfer away from all of a sudden having 2.5 million, 3 million in your bank. So I'm just trying to give you some positive reinforcement there, Paddy.
Yeah, I mean, another thing is it's going to be a big battle of the captains again this week.
Yeah, you think so?
I think there'll be a lot of people that will captain Salah against Luton. Whereas,
yeah. But I mean, you're a man now. If you had Haaland and Salah, who would you be looking at?
I'd be looking at Haaland.
Yeah, I think that's
captain.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to be the big question, I guess, if you were to look at talking points and stuff this week. I think that'll be the focus on a lot of questions from people. Will be, do you buckle under the FOMO this week and get Haaland back in your team if you've already gotten him out, And now, obviously, neither myself or yourself have taken him out of the team. But, there's plenty of people who, over the game weeks 8 and 10 wildcards, would have decided to go, Salah and Trippier, kind of attack the informed players. And to be fair, every one of them, those people would have known that this fixture was coming up. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like home to Bournemouth was a massive captaincy shout. They may have hoped that Haaland had a quiet game at Old Trafford and wasn't going to go into this kind of fired back up, because he'd been pretty chill over the last couple of weeks. He wasn't tearing up trees, but he tore the house down at the weekend, and he'll be licking his lips.
He's well and truly back, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got his Champions League goal as well. Just before that, he's got his goal in the last fixture, and now he's coming into a Bournemouth game. I think on fire again.
Yeah, so straight, easy. I think anyone with captain, I think it's a bit of an easy one. But you're right. Like, there will be plenty of owners out there without him in the team, and if you look this week, I don't know about you, but I think it was something like 77% EO for Haaland, which, as someone who hadn't captained him, I was delighted to see. You can actually cheer on Haaland points when you don't have him captain, which is I don't remember the last time you could really do that.
Yeah.
Obviously as a United fan, that was kind of a double.
He's up to
double-edged sword.
84% though now.
Oh, that's probably in the whole game, but just an EO for last weekend.
Oh yeah.
Do you know? So I mean, like, yeah, he's massively owned, but just in terms of people who had captained him, I was happy to see he wasn't doing damage. Now he wasn't doing a whole lot of good either, but he wasn't doing damage to the ranks. Unlike those with no Salah, Paddy, like you crater.
Well, I have Holland.
I know, but you have no Salah cap to back it up.
Yeah, I got destroyed. I got 50 points. I mean, what did you get again?
68.
You see, yeah, that's a big, 20 point jump there.
Yeah.
I feel like I was lucky to get.
You knew the day of reckoning was coming.
I think some people got even worse out there. Did General have a bad week this week?
I didn't see.
I've seen he wasn't even at 20 points before the Sunday games, maybe.
No, I mean, he probably turned it around a bit, but like, it's just one of those weeks where, everyone who had kind of done the no Haaland move, and I know you're not one of them, but like everyone who had done the no Haaland move and had been benefiting from the Trippier points, I wouldn't. The Roosters came home. Toulouse is a bit like, I don't think it's a bit harsh. I think it's swung back a little bit this week, but that over the last couple of weeks, those managers are probably still up on the moves they made. It's just this week would have been particularly cruel with the Trippier, with the double, like Trippier and Byrne. If you'd gone in on them, that's a double 0-pointer.
Yeah,
like yourself. So
I just looked at general score. He got 52 this week.
So he beat you. There you go. It's just one of those weeks. It kind of swung back around, but yeah, I don't think there would have been mad gains or mad losses this week. And I mean, what's got me freaked out, and I probably am getting a bit ahead of myself, but I'm looking ahead to Gameweek 13. Have you looked at Gameweek 13? It's a fucking nightmare, man. Man City at home to Liverpool.
Oh, shit.
Newcastle at home to Chelsea.
Jesus.
Spurs against Villa. So, I mean...
That's a lot of cancellations.
Yeah, Arsenal away to Brentford, that won't be bloody easy. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those weeks where I'm like, a lot of people are going to have players.
Yeah, but everyone's in the same boat, though.
Yeah, more or less. It is going to be one of those kind of grin and bear it weeks, I think. And then I think the next few are going to be kind of maybe keep the powder dry a little bit. I don't know where people are going to look to attack. I guess it's just making background that you mightn't have already capitalised, like the likes of Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Like last week, obviously they were heavily talked about. Saka being, one of the most transferred in players. Lovely fixture. They do have a tough one this week, but the Gabriel news might have put some people off. Like I saw Gabriel not starting, and I was like, shit. Like I was very close to going Gabriel this week instead of Tsimikas, and it was only the away fixtures Newcastle next week that put me off, or the home fixture, whichever it is. But no, away, yeah. So it was only the away fixture that put me off, and I was like, fuck it, I'll go Tsimikas, save that extra bit of money. I think he comes back in the team straight away.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he does.
Yeah, a lot of people going like, oh, there we go, it started again. He's out of the team now. He's lost his
space.
I
don't think it's like that. Jesus, he's still one of their top guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're probably head up in the air. Teams to target, Paddy. Can I make some suggestions to
for this week or what? 13.
Well, just like for people looking to kind of either make a few bob or put out some fires in their team.
Brighton?
I mean, Brighton, Everton, Sheffield United, Nottingham Forest, and Burnley in the next 6. Obviously away to Chelsea and home to Brentford in 2 of those as well, but even they're not the worst fixtures, So yeah, Brighton still very much attackable. Mitoma didn't do much this week, thankfully. I was happy, but Evan Ferguson did start and score. So there you go. For people on the likes of, looking to maybe switch it up a bit. I do think he's a bit of an option. He's a bit of a swing, though. I just think Welbeck's injury makes him a little bit more secure.
Yeah,
totally. Kind of way, which is a good thing. So it's a big plus for him. You also have Adingra and Mitoma both started this week as well. So Adingra at 5 million looks to be a cut price option. Again, you never know with De Zerbi. Like, he does like his rotation. I do think March's injury hopefully puts him on that right wing spot a bit more. More likely to play out there, which is where he's been. And then Mitoma obviously keeping his spot on the left. He looks, to use an FPL term, essential. I think he looks essential for De Zerbi's plans. Not necessarily in FPL wise, but I don't think he gets dropped anytime soon. So he's your really solid, I think, 6.5 million option into Brighton. But you're spot on, Paddy. Brighton, a team to be looking at. I think Crystal Palace defensively.
Yes.
There's some good options there. Again, people looking to, come off the likes of Udogie, come off of Trippier. I don't know why I'm saying come off Trippier.
Come off like a Newcastle defender even.
Maybe, as I said, like Newcastle's fixtures toughen up. Newcastle's fixtures are toughening up. I told you, as I said already, like they're playing 4 of the top 4 teams in the next 6 game weeks. So double Newcastle defense isn't exactly something that I think many people would be capitalizing on. But there you have the likes of, I think, Crystal Palace away to Burnley this week, home to Everton, away to Luton, away to West Ham, and at home to Bournemouth in the next 5. Do you know what I mean? So Burnley, Everton, Luton, Bournemouth.
They're tasty.
They're tasty fixtures, and it's not something you'd be expecting loads. Like, I'm not saying splash out 5.5 million on a fucking Crystal Palace defender, but
they're all good prices. Like,
Mark Gay is sitting there. I think he's still 4.5. Maybe he's gone up to 4.6 now, but I mean, that's a good solid budget option. The likes of fucking Anderson is obviously a bit more expensive, but he's sitting in my team just because I got him cheap enough on the wild card. So he'll stay there for a while. So Crystal Palace are a team worth looking at. Brighton, a team worth looking at. I'd still be staying the fuck away from Chelsea. It's a bit not worrying. It's a bit unfortunate that Neto has pulled up with a hammy. Like, I don't know how serious it is. Apparently it's not the worst, but he'll obviously be out for a while with that, because Wolves were coming into some lovely fixtures, like away to Sheffield United this week. That's a nice fixture, I think.
Yeah, it is very nice.
Obviously, home to Spurs after that's not going to be too great, but like away to Fulham, away to Arsenal, home to Burnley, home to Forest. So that's like Forest, Burnley, Fulham, and Sheffield United in the next 6. Do you know? I get like a nice little kind of green patch. The only question is there, who do you target now that Neto's gone? Like, who do you look to? Like, how are they going to react to that? He obviously makes a massive difference to the team. Like, I mean, you just had to look at how they performed once he came off on Saturday. Your man He Wan Chang.
Yeah, I was going to say He Wan Chang. He's like still at a good price as well, 5.5, and he also got on the points this week, didn't he? He got 7 points, and he's not that far behind Neto. I think Neto's got like 52 points, and He Chan is on 49.
He Chan. Yeah, I made an absolute butchered his name. I did there. Huang He Chan. He's on 5.5 million, as you said, Paddy. He did come in the points this week. He got a goal. That's his 6th goal this season.
Yeah, he's doing it under the radar. He's doing it quietly. Like, I know, like, Neto's out now, but I mean, He Chan isn't a bad pick. I'm just actually here are their points. I was right. Neto's got 52 points total, and He Chan has got 49 points total. So, I mean, He Chan's 5.5. He's great price. So no, that's great players to bring to our attention there, Ger.
Yeah, I think if I was to do it with a caveat, it would be that I wonder how much he was benefiting from the likes of Neto being on fire.
Yeah, being on fire. Yeah, exactly. That's another way to look at it, Yeah.
So a little concerning.
Little one there. I want to add a player to the fold here. Liverpool's Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
He's been ticking away nicely. He's Liverpool's 2nd highest scorer in FPL, 7 million. And I'm actually thinking about him as well as my Diaz replacement, because he seems to be more nailed in the team as well.
Well, look, I mean, first things first. As a player, yeah, he looks fantastic. FPL option, obviously everyone's going to be a little bit suspect of deep lying midfielders. Szoboszlai seems to be tipping away. You're right. He's got 4 assists and 1 goal this season. 2 of those assists did come in the last match. I personally, I think for 7 million, I wouldn't be touching him. He's too expensive.
Okay. See, we need the voice of reason here times 2.
Yeah. I mean, like, great week, as I said. I think he makes a massive difference to Liverpool. And he affects all of the players around him. So, like, when he doesn't play, every other Liverpool asset, I think, are going to be a little bit weaker because of how much he brings to the team. But FPL wise, I still think 7 mil for a player with 5 attacking returns, 2 of which were in just the last game week. Yeah, too much for me. But
do you not think he might go on to a nice run here, like in
I just don't
these fixtures?
No, I just don't think he plays high enough. I don't think he occupies
that's
high
fair
enough
enough
up the
point.
pitch. Simple as that.
Okay.
But, it's definitely going to turn a few people's heads. It's one of those players that, obviously his name is going to catch your eye because no one can fucking pronounce it. And
Yes.
and then, the fact that he's just delivered a double-digit haul, that's probably pushed him into, 44 points in total. Anyone, organising their team kind of on a broad... Not organising team, but looking at potential transfers on a broad scale, he's going to catch their eye. Do you know what I mean? But, no, I think long-term... 7 mil, I'd rather be investing that somewhere a bit like the likes of, like, for 7 mil in and around that you can be targeting a Jared Bowen, even Diaz. I know you're talking about getting rid of him, but I'd nearly be just fucking waiting and seeing how that shitstorm plays out.
I probably will see how that goes, and if it looks like it's not good for him, I probably will go with Jota.
I mean, I'd be honest with you, Paddy, I'd probably go back to fucking the likes of Mbeumo before I'd look at Sabazlai.
That's him ruled out then.
Yeah, I mean,
just he had to be spoke about.
He did, and I had to segue nicely into Mbeumo, who's still cursing anyone that got rid of him. I'm pretty sure he's gotten like almost 30 points in the 3 weeks he's since he left my team, and since he left, I'd imagine quite a few Game Week 8 wildcarders teams.
Yeah, he left my team, and he's been haunting me ever since. He's total of 67 points as well so far, which is quite good for a player that would only cost you 6.6 million.
Yeah, I mean, his prices just kept dropping, which obviously doesn't mean that the sellers are still, well, up to last week anyway, the sellers were still kind of there in their droves, but West Ham at home this week kind of proceeds.
And Liverpool and Arsenal after that.
Yeah,
so.
2 tough ones, Liverpool and Arsenal. But right after that, home to Luton.
You'll want him for 14.
Yeah, home to Luton.
That's the one.
Home to Luton and away to Sheffield United 2 weeks later. Like, he'll be definitely one to kind of stick on that watch list, and hopefully he doesn't go too
he's
mad.
definitely been written down in my little book here, so he is to come back.
Yeah. Anyone else caught your eye, Paddy?
Not really. I mean, I was like, I didn't get a lot of football in because it was a bank holiday weekend over here, and there were so many things on Halloween and that. But and Mbeumo did catch my eye. Szoboszlai caught my eye because he was just everywhere creating. I just thought, he looked like such a player, and I thought to myself, really low ownership, but like you said, Mbeumo there is going to get you. He's higher up the pitch. He's ticking away nicely. The thing with Szoboszlai is that he's the sister of the assister.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that is kind of it. And then every so often, obviously, he's going to be the one that actually fucking does put on the final ball. But yeah, I think you'd summed it up there. He does reek of assister to the assister kind of vibes. But yeah, anything else, Paddy, before we head on over to the mini-league?
Nothing really else. It's kind of one of those game weeks, isn't it, where it's just there wasn't a lot of talking points. I mean, I think anything there was we covered there. Like the fixtures are getting difficult for a lot of the big 6 teams, and it's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, they're very sporadic in their in their difficulty levels at the moment. As we said, Arsenal, horrible fixture this week. Away to Newcastle. Like, I don't want much of that, but right before home to Burnley. So, I mean, obviously you're not even worried about Arsenal assets. They're staying there for a while, and yeah, we'll probably be getting a bit more investment over the next few weeks. City then, the opposite. Lovely fucking fixture this week, but, right beside Chelsea and Liverpool, and, whatever. I don't know.
Just before we do move on to the mini-league, I want to just touch on a couple of other wee bits. What about Tsimikas coming in there for Liverpool? I've seen anyone who went there once they got the Robertson news.
Yeah.
That he was injured. They've brought him in cheap. Got another clean sheet. Another player I want to talk about is Palmer. Yeah. Is he a fucking permanent fixture now in this Chelsea team? He's on penalties. I mean,
let's do it one by one. So Tsimikas, yeah, no, I mean I went in on him this week.
Oh, excellent! Yeah.
Yeah, I think he looks nailed. If you ask me, like they don't have
Mm-hmm.
much of an option. I know they're talking about, oh, we could play Joe Gomez on the fucking left and all this other bullshit. And it's like, nah, you're gonna stick with the guy who's helped you get 2 clean sheets in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you saw him get a rest in the Europa League on Thursday. So yeah, I think Tsimikas, I think he's still 4.5. He's still 4.5. So their fixtures, no, he's actually 4.6. I tell a lie. But away to Luton this week, home to Brentford, away to City, home to Fulham, and away to Sheffield. Yeah, no, he stays there for me. Like,
Yeah.
with that price point, with 4.6, like, you can put him on the bench without worrying about it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even need to, because I think Liverpool are the kind of team that, they're capable of winning a match to nil against anyone. But for 4.6, you wouldn't be worried about it. So yeah, he's for me, probably, like I talked about Crystal Palace and teams like that and targeting their players. But yeah, he'd be a bit more higher up the watch list for me. Like 4.6 million into Liverpool defense. Yeah, an easy decision.
An easy keep.
Yeah. And the other one you mentioned then was Cole Palmer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just having a look at Cole Palmer there, 5 million. Apart from getting beat there by Brentford 2-0, he was on quite the little run, 6 points, 12 points, and 5 points, and him on penalties. But I don't think you want to be looking at Chelsea until game week 16 because the fixtures are looking tough. Chelsea are looking great, but he was a player that just had to be brought up. I think we touched on him last week, but briefly, Spurs, City, Newcastle, Brighton, and United. The next 5 games, so
yeah, I think
it's an avoid for me, until maybe 15, 16.
If I was to play devil's advocate, like, yeah, like numbers or fixtures wise, like I wouldn't even be looking at him. But what he does offer, like you talked about, dropping Diaz down to a shitty non-playing player at the start of the show. Well, I mean, here's one for 5 million. Do you know, that's like, if he's part of those kind of transfer moves where it's like, look, it's a bigger picture move, you mightn't play him every week. Maybe you have to play him. 5 million. I mean, I'm sitting there with James Ward-Prowse and Anthony Gordon in my team. I mean, Anthony Gordon has also got, as we mentioned, like kind of some rough fixtures coming up now. 5.6 million. I don't know if I'm going to want to play him in every match, and I don't know how different he is from the likes of Palmer. But there's a 500,000 saving there on the likes of Cole Palmer. He is on penalties. He did look like Chelsea had some good moments in that match at the weekend, and he looked like, I was a bit like, shit, he's going to fucking do the biz here. Now, obviously, it didn't turn out that way, and thankfully, but as you mentioned, on penalties, he's gotten 4 attacking returns in these last fucking 4 games that he's started. So I wouldn't rule him out too much. I think you're bang on, like, in terms of the fixtures being horrible. But there is options there for budget enabling. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he is a viable, fifth midfielder. If that's what you wanted to do, an 8 attacker, I think, is something I've seen thrown around. I'm like, yeah, if you have the money, it can make sense.
Yeah, as an enabler, yeah, no, that's good. And last but not least, Diaby is ticking away as well there for Villa, and I think he's another great player to go into the. There's so many good juicy midfielders that you could get in there, isn't there? And the fixtures are still looking sweet for him. Only 14% ownership now. He's 6.8 million. What do you think of Diaby as a wee punt in there?
Yeah, like we did talk about him last week. I think I actually said the opposite last week. I think I said, like, maybe it's overkill having that much Villa. Like, when you have the likes of Watkins, who's 8 million, maybe putting that much of your budget into Villa attack, I think I could have said was a little bit overkill. I don't know if I totally stand by that, in the sense that I didn't realize how lowly owned he is, if I was being honest. When you said it there, I was like, he's only 14% total ownership in the game, in the FPL website, which means, like, in reality, he's probably a little bit lower than that. I didn't realize it was so low. And he obviously came good for anyone that held their patience with him. And then obviously, like, at home to Luton, you were never gonna want to get him out. One thing, again, I'll play devil's advocate. Well, I don't know if you were saying he's a good option or not, but he does seem to be nailed for starts. That's the main thing. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, yes, he's come off on the kind of 61st minute and, 80th minute a few times and stuff, but like he seems pretty nailed on to start. He has done three goals and 5 assists, so like 8 attacking returns since he's come into the team this season. I think he's a completely fine option. 6.8 million. I think when you just, as I said, putting that alongside Watkins, and then even if you've gone like 4.7, 4.8 with cash, that's quite a chunk in Villa. But like Villa are fucking doing great. Do you know what I mean? Like
they're doing great.
Yeah, and as you said, the fixtures are still great. Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Spurs, Bournemouth, all in the next 4. Do you know, it gets a bit nasty in game week 15 with like the likes of City and Arsenal coming up.
Yeah, but plenty of time to get them out of your team by then.
Yeah, I do think so. So yeah, there's just so many fucking options this season, man. There's so many options.
Right, well, we do the mini league then, and then come back to our roundup of what we're doing, our moves, captaincies, and things. And sure, I think that will be it then, Ger, for tonight.
And then we get our masks on and we go trick or treating.
Exactly.
All right.
Right, so here we go. The mini league. I have it up and ready.
You have to do the full thing, Paddy. You have to do the FPL Hangover Podcast Mini-League. It's
okay. You take that bit there, then go.
Oh, okay. The FPL Hangover Podcast Mini-League.
Wow, that was amazing. Brought to you by Kinniger Beer. Of course, this month there will be someone again awarded with some swag and beers. Last week we had Gavin. So Gavin got his goodies there. He give us a tag, and he was delighted to get them. So just will be no harm in checking to see. Is this not? Yeah, we'll have a manager for the month after this game week. Another one.
Jesus. Okay.
They're coming in fast. So, anyway, here we go. The top 10. Are you ready for this, Ger?
I am.
And let me see if I'm ready. Yeah. Donal O'Regan, he holds the top spot. No change in the top. Tuar is second. Glenn Judkins is third. Peter Scullion in fourth. Gavin O'Donnell in fifth. Antoinette Buckley in sixth. Belgian Brudda in seventh. Fergal Casey in 8th, and Altar Basri in 9th, and James Walsh in 10th. Donal Reagan scored 82 game week points this week. He's overall 859 in the world. He's having an absolute stormer of a season. So he's in
top 1K, repping our league.
Top 1K. Well done, Donal. Great stuff. So we're going to go now to the manager of the week. And the manager of the week is Gavin O'Donnell, who was last week's manager of the month, or last month's manager of the month. So Gavin, well done. 88 points is absolutely amazing. We'll give a special mention to Derry O'Brien on 87, to Corey Call on 85, and Antoinette Buckley on 83, and of course the number one, Donal Reagan, 82 points. So some great shooting, but of course with the good must come the bad. And the walk of shame this week goes to Marius Sanmo on 54 points.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm just checking that. I have the league only set to 50.
Oh, I see. Paddy, I think you might be forgetting a few people there.
Yeah, I think you're right. So bear with me. We are reloading the league.
Oh, nearly thought you got away with it. Little snake. You thought you got away with it.
Do you know what? As when I called out 52, I was like, hold on a second. I'm fucking lowering this. And I did not do this on purpose. This was just I didn't set the league numbers because it's a big league, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, massive.
Bloody massive.
Millions and millions.
To all the millions. So it's just loading up here again. So would like to take this moment to tell you all about the new what do you call that cream you're using on your balls?
Ice Whisper.
I love it.
I'd buy you some ball cream if it was called Ice Whisper.
Ice Whisper. Right.
99% chance of blowjob. Yeah.
So let's go again. I would like to take the manager of the week off. Mr. Who did I say it was?
Gavin O'Donnell is who you give credit to.
Yeah, well, sorry, Gavin. It's Aaron Yades who got 100 points this game.
Oh,
what top club?
You made an absolute balls of this, Paddy.
I did. Special mention goes to Paul Ryan, 94 points. Frank Fallon on 91 points. Donal Hurley on 89. And Gavin Dowell, 88. So now we go to the worst managers, and the worst manager is Matthew, called FPL Last. There you go, Matthew. You good. 44 points he got this week. Special mention goes to Owen Doyle, 45, James Stevens, 47, Reece Jones, 47, Cameron North, 48, Danny Watkins, 49.
See, that has to cheer you up.
Paula Castro, 49, Stephen Olalaway, 49, James Russell, 49, and we can just leave there.
Paddy Brown there, 49.
And me there, 49, of course. So the biggest riser in the league goes to... Oh, God, where is it?
Man, this is not your day.
No, everything's messing up here. It's Halloween. Well, like
it's haunted.
Anyway,
it's haunted
the biggest drop in the league was Cameron North, who dropped 75 places. And here we are now. We're coming up to the biggest rise in the league, which goes to, drumroll please, Derry O'Brien, 38 places. Bravo.
Boom.
We'll just have a wee visit to the bench wankers here before we tie this up as well. Bench wanker this week goes to Richard Pannons, who had 23 points on the bench.
23 points. Oof.
Ouch.
I'm trying to even think of like where that.
Who could be in there? Like, net transfers this week. Transfer genius goes to Johnny Armstrong and to Noah Aberg. Both of the managers got themselves 14 points from 2 transfers. Johnny Armstrong got rid of Luis Diaz for Saka, and he got rid of Byrne for Braithwaite. And Noah Aberg got rid of Chukwuemeka for Diaby and Trippier for Maguire. So those were the transfers. Yeah. And oh my God, Paula Castro, net score of minus 40 points. This was our very first manager of the month. Took 7 transfers for a minus 24 and a net score of minus 40.
I think we've got a goddamn lunatic in our ranks.
And you know Derek Kern, he's actually an Irish manager. I think he's the FPL Tinker. Tinkerman. He made 3 transfers at a cost of a minus 8, and he netted himself a minus 29. Would you like to know his mad moves?
Yeah, if it went that fucking tits
so
up. Son out.
Yeah, so Haaland out for Isak. Yes. Diaby out for Salah. And Madison out for Saka. So yeah.
Yeah, that is a bit crazy.
No, definitely.
You've shocked me there.
He shocked me too because he's a frequent, like he's a member of the FPL community, and there like you would see him about. So
he ain't a casual.
No, he's not a casual. No.
You're not going to try to see.
No, I never would.
Unlike Paula.
Yeah, unlike Paula.
Casual manager of the month winner.
Yeah, exactly. So that is our that's our league roundup. So I hope you enjoyed that. So
I did. I think we might actually have our manager of the month this month. Like, as in, like we'll have to talk about this off air. But I'm like, sure, that's the end of October.
Let me see. I'll be able to have a quick look here. I have it up in front of me. If it'll be official. When does the next league start, or the next game week?
Friday or Saturday.
So that's November.
November the 4th.
Okay, so we do have our next manager of the month, and I will tell you who it is right now. This is an exciting episode all of a sudden, huh?
Twist.
The manager of the month is none other than Donal O'Regan.
Now.
Yes.
Don't tell me he's another Donegal
No,
native.
I think he's down around your parts, maybe further down into
serious
into
country,
the left.
real country.
Yeah, he's over around there. I think he might be. Yeah, I think he could be a Limerick man. But we will be in touch. He won that. He got 257 points this week, or this month. And Glenn Judkins was very close behind with 253, and Aaron Yadi's 248. So we've had 3 Irish manager of the month's managers.
Almost
so far.
like this is the greatest Irish podcast in the history of Irish podcasts.
Almost.
Fancy football related.
Just almost like that.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Donal. I will be in touch. And just to before we finish up, we'll do a wee bit of ins and outs.
Okay, the all in out.
Yeah. What are the top transfers out this week so far?
Oh, top transfers out.
Mm-hmm.
Who is everyone hating on right now?
Yeah.
I reckon. Oh, I don't know. Alvarez.
No, it's game over for you.
Fuck.
The most transferred out in fifth place is Stupinen, Neto,
Okay. Neto's not obvious.
Odegaard, and Udogi.
Udogi and Neto are obvious.
And Isak. And now four of the managers in the most transferred out have got injury signs beside them, hazards, but only one of them doesn't, and that's Odegaard. And Udogi's got a yellow, Isak's got red, Neto's got red, and the Stupinen's got red. So that's the most transferred out. The most transferred in should be easy. You should get this.
It has to be Salah. Has to be in there.
Nope. It's game
Fuck!
It's Anderson in fifth place, Son in second and fourth, Douglas Luiz in third, and Buemo in second, and the number one manager transferred in, of course, is Nketiah.
Why am I not just looking at last week's points?
Yeah, I know. Nketiah is he's the player of the week this week, by the way. Nketiah, 17 points.
Yeah, he was a big talking point on the internet on Saturday. Your man Praz from the Scout and the Wire, he's nailed it.
Shining out on that, so he is.
Yeah, fucking rightly so. Anyone that took a punt on him this week.
Did he captain him or anything? No, he just took him in.
I didn't see if he captained him. I just read that he brought him in. If he captained him, fair. Nah, that'd be a crazy move. Get out of here. But bringing him in is more than enough. But yeah, so Nketiah, actually, we didn't talk on him. You think something worth looking at?
Nah.
Why not?
Well, is Jesus injured or what?
Well, there you go. That's the why not. Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I think that's the thing is worth. If he got confirmed out for a while.
Yeah, definitely, maybe.
He's an option. You know, he's cheap enough still. But yeah, no, I'm the same. Away to Arsenal this week, or away to Newcastle this week isn't exactly an inviting fixture. So no, easy to avoid for another week or get a bit more info. Paddy, what are your transfer decisions and captaincy?
Right, okay, so my captaincy is going to be Haaland. A wise man told me when things are going shit, it's probably best to go back to basics. ABC, FPL. And well done to Seamus who ran a marathon or some shit there.
Oh, yes, congratulations. He won the Halloween marathon.
Well done, Seamus.
Yeah, I think he won it all in all. Like, he beat 16,000 other people, so fair play to him.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Don't hold me to it. But, okay, always be closing. Basic ABCs of FPL.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Haaland captain. I'm going to wait on the Luis Diaz news. I mean, if he's out, that's a transfer that I have to do, which I will probably either go to Mbuemo or Jota. I think I would like to go Jota because it's just that Luton fixture, and Jota could do some damage for me, and he's very lowly owned as well. And hopefully that he just covers Salah for me while Haaland gets me some points. The rest of the team is kind of okay-ish. Son and Madison, Cash, Watkins again, Højlund against Fulham. I mean, I've got hope.
Destiny, is it? He's injured.
Yeah. Fuck you. Very well done again, prick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this week, not entirely sure yet. I might just roll one over. Yeah.
Roll one out.
I do have a mild dilemma in, like, so I'll be benching Burn at home to Arsenal. Like,
me too.
I'll be benching him, but you have Trippier, so you definitely should be benching one of them.
Yeah.
Although
I have to see Udogi's out. Like, it could be out. So.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm benching Burn, right? But I have Anderson for Crystal Palace, who's in the top 5 transfers in. I don't know if you know, and Taylor for Burnley. So obviously Taylor at home to Crystal Palace, and Anderson away to Burnley. And I'm a little bit like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fucking sucker for a home fixture. But like I'm a little bit kind of one side or a little bit flip floppy. I don't know who to play there. Who would you play, Paddy?
Between
Joachim Anderson for Crystal Palace, who is away
you just
to
cut
Burnley.
Out there. Oh. Yeah.
Sorry, so Anderson away to Burnley, and then his counterpart in that match is Taylor at home to Palace. Obviously, the same game.
Oh, probably play Anderson.
Yeah, I'm. That's the way I'm leaning right now. I think the fact
I
that
don't know. I just feel like he's more of a threat too.
he's also more fucking expensive. So I'm like, why have I got this cunt on
Play the
my
more
team?
expensive players.
Just play the more
Well, then,
expensive players. It's a
I've
solid
got
rule.
one for you. I have one for you for my team. Then who should I play? Turner or Areola?
That was my next question for you, so I'm glad you asked. I at the moment have Areola in. I think I'm flip flopping on that one too, because
Interesting, because I had Areola in, and whenever I turned on the pod, I just flicked the Turner back in
yeah,
because I'm a sucker for the home fixture.
and I feel like they're both going to concede. Like if I was to,
Yeah.
I feel like they both could concede, or both will concede.
Whichever one we choose,
Will do.
we'll concede.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to pick the same keeper.
You just tell me who you're picking, and I'll pick.
Yeah, I was going to tell you I was picking and do it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, but I'm thinking like home to Villa. Like obviously Villa are on fire at the moment, and that's going to be a really tough fixture. But first,
and obviously we want Villa to score.
Exactly. So that's the other side. Like you don't want to be kind of hoping I got my keeper decision right, but Watkins is blanked again. And then with Areola, you're going, you know what? I can see West Ham maybe fucking grinding out a 1-0 win or a 0-0 draw at Brentford. Maybe. I mean, they've only kept one clean sheet all season, so maybe 0-0 is a bit optimistic. But I think I'll just go Areola, just because, as you said, Paddy, I don't want to be cheered or not. I don't want to be cheered on a keeper against my striker. You know.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a much of a muchness, though. I think they're both going to do jack shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so that's perfect. Paddy, where can everyone find you?
You can get me on Twitter at FPL_Viking_, and you can get me on Instagram at the Viking Dippers. I will be on my Viking Dippers now. I'm going to be doing Movember, so I'm going to be doing a dip a day for men's health.
Dip a day.
Yeah, dip a day. So any support on that would be very grateful. So thank you very much. That's where you can get me. Where can we get you and the pod, Ger, Bear?
If you want to get me, you can hit me up on Twitter at FPL Hangover. Gmail fplhangover@gmail.com, and then Instagram is FPL Hangover as well. So all of the FPL Hangovers should bring you straight to us. Just a quick reminder that today's mini-league was brought to us by our sponsor Kinniger. The link is in the description. Some nice local craft beer. We'd also like to thank PremierFantasyTools.com for allowing us to use their fixture ticker and stuff for the show. So anything you've seen online, that's been provided by their website. And links to all of these guys are in the description below. If you liked what you heard, hit subscribe, hit like, share with a friend, pass it on. Chinese whispers, I don't care how you do it. It just means a lot to us, and it's greatly appreciated. Paddy, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Halloween. To everyone else, Game Week 11, may it be full of gold, and most importantly, God bless.